Hi, my name's Bryn. Thank you for coming and viewing my channel. So I just thought I'd give you an update as to why we're here, what I'm doing, why we've got a channel, basically. So first and foremost, by the title you've probably guessed, it's to document my weight loss journey and where I stand on it and what exactly that is that I'm doing. So I'm here because of my amazing girlfriend and exactly what she's been telling me to do for months and months and months now. She's said that I should really document as to how and what I'm doing. She suggested that maybe look at doing it on Instagram, maybe TikTok, YouTube, something along those lines. Now it's so far outside my comfort zone. I've kind of pushed back and been like, okay, maybe, but not really wanting to do it. That all changed this first day just gone after I had my dietitian appointment over the phone with Derby Hospital because I'm on a bariatric waiting list for surgery at the moment. So yeah, let's talk you through the process. We'll go tell you exactly what's going on. We'll talk a little bit about bariatric surgery. We'll be talking about depression and why I'm here at this particular moment in time. We'll talk about B.E.D, binge eating disorder, something I've been diagnosed with, and how and what I'm hoping to achieve by this. And hopefully I can inspire some people, make myself accountable for my actions by documenting it on here, smile, have some fun, have some laughter along the way, do silly things, but mainly lose weight and do it for the best. So let's take you back to why this all happened in the first place and how I gained weight. So when I was a kid, I did get bullied quite badly. Not because of weight or anything along those lines. I was always a healthy kid. I was never slim, but I wasn't fat either. I was just that normal, happy-go-lucky kid. Through the being sort of like bullied and things like that, I found solace in playing sports. I used to love my sports. It's kind of like an even ground for me where I could be even with the bullies. I could hold my own. They didn't have anything on me. I didn't have anything on them. Sport was a great leveling playing field. And I really enjoyed my sport. So as life went on, going into my late teens and early 20s, I moved to Lincoln and bought my first house. And life was good. Life was really, really good. I went on holidays, I enjoyed my sport still. I was a postman, I was walking miles and miles every day. I was fit, I was healthy, I was smiling. I was on top of the world. I'm not gonna lie. Everything was going my way. Then in 2006, that all changed. I was out on my post round one day, it's a Friday. I was just finishing my round, just getting back to my car to drive home. And I could feel that on my leg that basically it was hot. Didn't think anything of it really. Looked down, it was itchy as well. Thought I could see sort of like this red area. Thinking, no, I've been bit by something or got stung or something along those lines. Didn't think too much of it. Got back, and as the day went on, it got worse and worse and worse. It was starting to hurt. My leg was starting to swell. Again, I still didn't think too much of it. I was sitting there thinking, right, okay, if it gets worse in the morning, I'll ring what is now 111. It used to be something called Med. Woke up in the morning and my calf was roughly the same size as my thigh. It had swollen massively. So my mum and dad had come up from Reading to see us. We rang Med and they were like, yep, come in, let's see you. Let's see exactly what's going on. Saw a doctor at Lincoln County Hospital. They took one look at it and said, yep, you've got an infection. Here's some more antibiotics. Off you go. If it gets any worse, go back to your GP. So I went home happy, thinking, yep, take some antibiotics for the course for a week or so. See whether it cures it. Only an insect bite. It's not going to be anything to worry about. So went home, started taking my antibiotics. By Monday, this bump had started to appear on the front of my shin. My leg was still hurting. It was really sore now, really painful. By Tuesday, that bump on the front of my shin was about the size of a tennis ball, and it was really agony. So off to my GP I went. GP took one look at it and said, I need to get you admitted to hospital. So he rang something called EAU, which is the emergency ward at Lincoln County Hospital, to have emergency admissions on. He said, you go probably need it draining. He said, they'll talk you through it when you get to Lincoln County. So off to Lincoln County I went. That night I had surgery on the front of my shin, thinking it's just going to be drained off. Woke up next day in even more pain than I'd had the rest of the time. The pain in the front of my shin soon transpired because they hadn't just drained it, they'd cut a great big V groove down the front of my shin and basically cut out most of the abscess. It was very painful. I was in for the rest of that week, all over the weekend. Got discharged on the Monday at around about midday. Got home, was feeling okay. Not quite 100% because I just had surgery on my shin. But yeah, back home, happy. Thinking, right, here we go. That night, I went to sleep as normal, but woke up with the worst racing heart ever. It felt like I just ran fast as I possibly could, miles and miles and miles. I was out of breath, my heart was racing, I could not control it. I was really scared, I was worried. My partner at the time rang 999, we got an ambulance. They took one look at me, my heart rate was sky high. I was very tachycardic. They said, they're like, right, we need to get you into hospital now. So less than 12 hours after being released from hospital, I was on my way back to hospital again. Straight into A&E. They took one look at me, they ran some tests and said that basically I had a blood clot on my lung, pulmonary embolus. I was like, what, how, what is that? They talked me through it. Turned out that through the surgery I'd had on my shin, where at the time I'd basically been left, so just got a cat just jump up, that's Rosie. I'd had my surgery and I'd basically been left in bed for a little while whilst we were waiting for basically the physios and things like that. I'd got a deep vein thrombosis, DVT, in my calf. That had actually moved and broken off and made its way to my lung. Not only that, when I was in hospital, after being on the ward for a day, again I started feeling very ill. Whilst I was in there, they brought a crash team with basically everything. I was taken to coronary care unit. They were worried that the blood clot was moving to my heart at the time. I had emergency thrombosis where they thin your blood, and I was in hospital for the next week to 2 weeks. I got released from hospital feeling extremely run down, very groggy. I was on basically now warfarin, which at the time isn't the nicest medication to be taken. It thins your blood, it thins your skin, it does all sorts of nasty things to you, but I needed to take it. When I left hospital, the doctor warned me, he said, you're going to take a few months to get back to feeling anywhere near the level that you felt before. He said, you are going to feel very tired, very lethargic. He said, you're going to need to really take your time. It hit me hard because I was used to doing things. I was a very active person. As I said, I was a postman. I played lots of sport. I could do lots of things. Now, just walking to the top of the stairs, I was out of breath. And this is where depression started hitting, and it hit really hard. I found comfort in food, which was a massive problem because obviously that was never going to be a good solution. But I couldn't do things that I used to do anymore. I was told that basically contact sports would probably be no-go for a while because I was on blood thinning tablets, so that ruled out the sports that I was playing at the time. I was playing rugby and football. That was a big no-go. I was never really that good at training on my own. which is quite sad. And depression just started coming in waves. And at the time, I never really thought too much of it. I didn't really go to the doctors about it. I didn't admit to feeling depressed or sad. It wasn't until I broke down one day and I went to the doctors and they then prescribed me some antidepressants. I spoke to my mum, who basically dealt with mental health through the job she was doing at the time. My dad came up, and it was a worrying time. Now, depression never really left me for the next 10 to 15 years. It just stayed there. It carried on. It never really went out. I always fought it. It came in bouts and it got worse and worse. I felt suicidal. I never really felt happy in myself. I was eating more and more and more, and these eating sessions were getting worse and worse. I'm not talking about just basically eating rubbish now. I'm talking about proper binges, like hiding food to eat it later, going to the shop and buying lots and lots and lots of food just to sit and eat it all before I even got home in the car. Sitting there and shoving food in faster than I could physically chew and eat it. It was horrible, but I'd never admitted it to anybody. I would hide it as much as I possibly can, so not even my partner at the time could see what's happening. She'd often say to me, "Where's this food gone that I've bought?" And I'd be like, "Oh, I made it for dinner." What I didn't tell her is that so I kind of had that for dinner plus 4 or 5 other things. The kids' sweets and things like that were being eaten, and that was me. Now, I lost that marriage that I had in 2018. Sorry, 2017. And in December that year, I broke down really bad. I went to the doctors and went there basically saying that my antidepressants weren't working. I was really not in a good place. Whilst I sat there in the doctor's surgery that day, I opened up to the doctor and explained to him everything, explained to him about my food and what I was doing. That was when I first heard about B.E.D, binge eating disorder. He explained to me exactly what it was, and basically that I was showing all the characteristics of somebody who suffers from binge eating disorder. He said to me that he'd make appointments for me to see a mental health team and to look to get CBT therapy, which I got through my work. I also had it on the NHS as well, and that would help with me reprogramming my thought patterns as to how I'd eat and what I'd eat, and try stopping the binges. He also talked to me about basically weight loss surgery. Now, I tried lots of things to try losing weight, but none of them worked because I cheated myself through this binge eating. I tried Slimming World, I tried Weight Watchers, I tried loads of different diets. I tried the 5-2 diet, the keto diet, the Atkinson diet. I tried whatever diets were going, you name it, I tried it. But because of my binge eating, they were never going to work because of these binge eating sessions I was having. I'd even arranged to have a PT, a personal trainer. She came to my house and I'd have training sessions with her. That's fine, but the binge eating never stopped. So because of what I was putting in my body, it was never ever going to work. I joined the gym, that obviously didn't work either. So he suggested the bariatric surgery as being an option going forward for me. I thought long and hard about it and agreed that that's probably a way going forward, because for somebody who is over 200 kilograms in weight, going to somewhere like Slimming World or Weight Watchers would work brilliantly for people who've got to lose some weight. But when you've got to lose half your body weight, it's not really going to help that way. So in 2018, I went to basically Derby Hospital and saw the team, saw the dietitian, saw the surgeon, saw everybody. They taught me through the options and set out a goal for me to get myself on the waiting list. In 2019, after having all my CBT and addressing my binge eating disorder, addressing the way I was eating, and starting to make healthy choices going forward, the binge eating was no longer happening. I was now living on my own. My 2 children would come and stay with me for half the week. I had a new partner, and I was good with everything. We talked about everything, and in 2019 I got listed to go on the waiting list for the bariatric surgery. There's 3 separate options of surgeries I could have. There was the pardon me, there was the bypass I could have, there was the band I could have, and then there's the sleeve. Now I opted for the sleeve, personal preference to me. They gave me the option of all 3. The band, I didn't like the idea of it. There's some issues with the band. I've got a friend who's had the band. They can slip. There's things that need doing with them. The full-on bypass, I've heard people have the bypass. They've had great results off the bypass. But for me, it just didn't sit right, the whole bypass. So I went with the option for a sleeve, which is where they cut part of your stomach away and basically decrease the size of your stomach. I was told the waiting list would be roughly around about a year, and that I was thinking 2020, that's going to be my year. I was going to rock it. We joined the gym again. I was working hard. I was eating properly. Everything was good. And then along came 2020, and we all know how 2020 has gone. The same as everybody, the pandemic came, was hard for everybody. I'll make no bones about it. It's no different for me as it is for anybody else out there. Due to my underlying health issues, I was on full lockdown. So I wasn't getting out of the house much. My partner doesn't live with me, so she couldn't come over and see me. We were socially distanced, looking through windows and waving to one another and saying hello, but I was on my own again. And depression started to come back hard. I was feeling sad, I was feeling lonely, and we all know where that ended the first time round. Through my food, I was ordering the food to be delivered. My partner was bringing me the food, everything was good, but the food wasn't lasting as long as it should have been doing. I was eating more than I needed to be again. So the vicious circle had started all over again. Now through my CBT I could see this, and I knew what I needed to do to stop it. As lockdown has started to ease, I've now started to go out a little bit more. I'm still not going out massively for fear for how we stand at the moment with possible second waves, etc. And obviously my underlying health conditions, the size of me and things like that. So that's where I stood with that. At the moment, the waiting list for the surgery, all surgeries have been stopped at Derby. So I'm still sat on the waiting list. We've been told that that waiting list is now being extended even further. So we're now probably looking well into next year, if not the year after. My weight has gone up through lockdown, same as a lot of people's has. So now I need to address that, and that is why I'm here. I plan to upload a video once every Monday. Once I do my weigh-in, I'll be weighing myself, I'll be telling people where I stand, and do some sort of vlog on a Monday. And then I'm going to hope to upload at least 2 videos a week of me doing exercises. Now to start with, I will be following exercises off of other YouTube channels. And if I follow somebody's YouTube channel, I'll leave a link in the description below each time. If I'm not doing somebody else's YouTube channel, I will start to try to do my own exercises, because somebody of my weight and other people who are my size, normal exercises that you see people doing and workouts you see them doing are great, but they're not designed for people that are already carrying our weight and our joints are already in pain and hurting. One of my friends who I've known for a few years now, he was quite overweight. He started running, lose weight, he was really good at that, and then got arthritis in his knees. Now, I'm not trying to make excuses here. I'm just saying that basically I need to maybe change up some of the exercises and do them in such a way that they're a bit more friendly for somebody of my size to start with, until we get to a stage where I can actually do the full-on workouts. So that is the plan going forward. I hope you'll enjoy the ride as much as I'm going to enjoy it. Okay. I hope you smile as much as me. I cannot dance, and there'll be some dance routines we're doing in there, and I'll be making a fool of myself, and I'll be smiling, I'll be happy. My girlfriend's going to be in with it as well. She's going to start doing some of the exercises. She'll be around here as well going forward. I just hope that you can take something away from this, that if you are in the same situation as I am, or you feel that basically anything I've said resonates with you in any shape or form, you take some solace in it, you go forward. Now, at some point I will do a Q&A, so if you have any questions, then feel free to just drop them in any of the comments, and we'll go ahead and I'll answer them at some point. I will also do a bit about basically binge eating disorder and what it's like to have binge eating disorder. At the end of the day, it is an addiction. It's no different to gambling, it's no different to drinking, it's no different to basically drugs. So I'll address that part later on. We'll address in more detail bariatric surgery. A lot of people say it's an easy option. It is very invasive surgery. It's not an easy option. If it's an easy option, then everyone would do it. It is major surgery. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the pros and cons of diets. We'll talk about the pros and cons of doing Slimming World and Weight Watchers. It works for loads of people. It has a place out there. Maybe it'll work for me another point if I tried it again. I don't know. But we'll talk you all through it. We'll have a look at it all and go from there. But I just wanted to address a few things with you guys and go from there. So keep smiling. I've been told by my girlfriend I've got an amazing cute smile. Personally, I don't see it myself, but she reckons it's quite cute. All I see is this cheesy grin. And we'll just go from there. Okay. Love you all. Take care. Bye.